Shalom, Apostle Tahar coming back at you with this truth, giving all praises to Yahweh by Shemal Shai by Shem Kakwadash. And I'm going to entitle this video, The Harvest Truly is Great, but the Laborers Are Few. The harvest, Luke 10, verse 2. The harvest truly is great, but the laborers are few. Let me start from the first verse and the caption, headline, 70 cent out. It says, because that's what this is all about. Once you learn this truth, you learn these scriptures, you grow in this thing, as Peter said, speaking about growing, that you may grow as sincere. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and get it. Go ahead and get it. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's First Peter. It's either 1 or 2. Let's try 2. Okay, it is. As newborn babes, wherefore laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby. If so be ye have tasted that the Lord is gracious. I mean, I can read this whole chapter. There's a beautiful chapter right here. Let me read that again. Wherefore, first verse, laying aside all malice and all guile and all hypocrisies. A lot of these guys that fall off because they didn't come in as newborn babes. Our Lord in John, the 3rd chapter, told Nicodemus, you must be born again. A newborn baby knows nothing. As even Hans said in Enter Dragon, a baby is born knowing only life. They don't understand hatred and bigotry, and they don't judge. They cry, right? They cry when they're hungry. They cry when they're sleepy. They cry when they go to the bathroom on themselves. They cry. They don't know to go to the bathroom. So you got to grow. A child grows. At a certain age, a child knows how to go to the bathroom. A child starts to speak. A child starts to walk. Then from walking, they run. Then they put sentences together and they go to school. Then they learn more. Same thing with the truth. It's no different. They said, wherefore laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings. You got a lot of people that come into this truth and they bring their baggage with them. And that's why ultimately the Most High kicks them right back out. In order for you to come into this truth, you have to be chosen by the Most High. You have to be a part of the elect. This is not about a numbers thing. IUIC thinks this is about a numbers thing. That's why they go into them churches. The people in those churches are not of the elect. They're not of the elect, because if they were, I'm pretty sure, if not all, most people that go to church, they watch YouTube, right? They have the internet. They watch YouTube, and they came across Hebrew Israelite videos, whether it be IUIC, GMS, ISUPK, Sakari, or whatever. And I mentioned those 4 names for a reason. The what's that group? The Southern Poverty Law Center. I did a video on it. They mentioned the groups out there, and they mentioned in this order: IUIC, ISUPK, GMS. Then they mentioned the leaders. They mentioned Bishop Nathaniel Ben Israel, Johanna, General Johanna, Elder Tahar, and then the fourth one was a Sakari. Now Sakari's new. They came out of us. They came out of the leader of the Sakari came out of GMS. And he was like kicked out, and he got back in, then he left and kind of got back in, and he was cool with us. But as he was doing that, he kind of slowly went in the direction of HODC. But then he said, the hell with HODC, because he said, why should I be a part of This is the real reason why he didn't want to deal with HODC, because he realized there was more people following him than HODC. So he said, what the hell am I following Barack for? Or Elder Barack? And they're not even on a list. That's a weak crew. They teach truth, some truth, but they go off on a lot of things. And IUIC is top on that list of the Southern Poverty Law Center, is because they're doing those marches, they're going on TV shows, they're publicizing themselves in a big way. Now GMS, we on really on one platform. We're not on Facebook, we're not on TikTok. There might be TikTok videos of me, but I didn't put them up. Okay. We're just on YouTube. We're just on YouTube. Oh, we're on Odyssey too. And the reason why we're on Odyssey is because certain controversial videos that we put up on YouTube, they'll take down. But if you put it on Odyssey, for now at least, they leave it up, they won't take it down. So we're on that too. Like last night I did a video which is kind of dealing with a subject that was controversial. And I said, what the hell am I gonna put this up on YouTube when YouTube most likely will take it down? So I said, let me put it on Odyssey and let me do a little commercial to lead you to Odyssey. So I got a handful of people that came over, and more of y'all should go to Odyssey. What I should, well, you know what? I'll say this. This is as a side note. I'll come back into the topic. They're making a big deal about, like, this past weekend, they took down the video. First of all, like there was no comments, and the Apostle Gabar had fixed it, and then all of a sudden, the video was not there no more because they took it down, and they gave him a notification. They sent him, notification. They said that your medical and misinformation. You know what they do. You know what you said, and they just took the video down. So what I did was did I put it on? No, certain brothers put it on Odyssey. I don't know if I put it on Odyssey. I got to double check, but I believe I did. So, whatever you can't see on Saturdays is going to go right up. If it goes up on YouTube, it's also going to be on Odyssey. So if you know that they took down a certain video, always, if you have an idea that they're going to take this video down on YouTube, make sure you save the video and make sure you put it on Odyssey. But well, the scriptures say, make full proof of thy ministry. Whatever way you can push this truth out, you push it out. And like I said, if you go to TikTok, there's GMS videos on there. I didn't put them up there. There's people that don't really, that are not a part of GMS that have put up videos. Like this clown, this non-rapping clown, Vocab Malone, we call him Fathead, around the small hat with the big head, which can't rap to save his life. Anyway, he, he's always coming against us. Anything he has to say negative, he'll say. And they were one video, they were talking about the order, and then it came down to GMS. He started laughing and said, "There's no order to GMS." Oh, yes, there is order. There's a method to our madness. There's an order to our disorder. See, the scriptures say this. When you go back and read about David count Israel, who made David count Israel? The spiritual demon Satan got into David's head and made him count Israel. So the Most High sent the prophet to punish him for that. That was Nathan the prophet. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not going to go to it. And he said, basically, he said, you, the sin that you could, oh, and Joab, he ordered Joab to count Israel, which is a census, which Esau does. Every 10 years, he does a census. And that goes back to the Roman Empire, which right there, the Most High can destroy the Roman Empire. I'm talking about the new Roman Empire, just based upon the census. But where did the new Roman Empire get that from? Got it from the old Roman Empire, so they can tax you. Because when you go to the Constitution and read about the census, it tells you in the Constitution, it says the person comes to your house, they ask you how many people are living in this dwelling. You might say, well, one, so they'll put one. But now, where do you work? What's your social security number? What's your mama's maiden name? You know, how many times you go to the movie? They ain't supposed to ask all that, but then they'll say, well, this is constitutional. Yeah, the fact that you could number how many people that live in a particular dwelling. And you niggas don't know about that. That's why you get caught up there. And Jake, and you know, Jake don't want to deal with no motherfucking census. That's in their spirit. The spirit bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of the living power. What does it say in Matthew 2? Matter of fact, let me go to that. I'm kind of changing direction, but I'll get back into it. Okay, this is one of the precepts. Matter of fact, wait a minute. Okay, I started with this. It says, then, it said, after these things, the Lord appointed 70 others also and sent them 2 by 2 before his face into every city and place where he himself was about to go. So how do we do that now? We do that when we go out with the different camps, and we do that with the sit downs. And the thing that does the heavy lifting is the internet, mainly the YouTube. People found out about the Israelites through YouTube, not by Facebook and TikTok and all that. TikTok, I don't even think was around at that time, but through YouTube. Now you have these other platforms, right? So we're so famous to the point where even the Southern Poverty Law Center mentions GMS, IUIC. He says the prominent top groups out there is IUIC, ISUBK, GMS, and the Sakari. And he said the leader of Sakari is Guerrilla Hebrew. So what's all you other guys, and you should be ashamed of your motherfucking selves. You other guys that are forming, One West Israelites with the camps, you guys are seasonal Israelites. The Apostle Paul said, in season, out of season. What does that mean? It's dealing with planting, farming, crops, plowing, seeding, reaping. So this truth that we endeavor to do or are doing is likened unto a farmer. Is likened unto a farmer. So what the Apostle Paul said, he said you got to farm even out of season, which means what time of the year you don't you farm? In winter, because the ground is hard. You want to do it in this, like right after Passover, because the warm weather comes in, and then going about 2 months in, you reap the benefits of that crop. The same thing with the scriptures, man. Same thing with what we do. That's why I said in Luke 9:24, 9:62. I'm sorry. It said, anyone that turneth his back on the plow is not fit for the kingdom. Now, when you go and try to get that breakdown, if you go to the commentary, they're right on that. They say that when you're plowing, you know, with a yoke of oxen or 10 yoke of oxen or 12 yoke of oxen, like was that Elisha did, you gotta focus. You gotta keep your eyes on the plow, on the yokes, because if you look, if somebody, hey, yo, and you look, guess what? The plow is gonna go their own way, so you're not gonna have a straight line. And if you're working for somebody, a farm, they're gonna fire you, man. This is the second time you did that, you're out of here. Same thing with the Most High. You're working for the Most High. You're not working for yourself. You're not doing your will. You're doing the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And what did the Lord say? To teach this word in season, out of season, man. And don't stop. Don't take breaks. A lot of you other, that's why you're not on that list. You guys be taking breaks. You guys might do a video today, and you might not do a video for a freaking year. And then a year come around, you'll do a video. Or if there's like a debate or something like that. Now, this guy's gonna have a debate, Guerrilla Hebrew, Alazar, Priest Alazar, whatever. You're gonna have a debate with this guy. I call him the black, he's the black vocab Malone. What's his name? Damn, I can't even, not Jabari, Garfield. You know, Garfield the cat. That's what it's Garfield the cat. They're gonna have a debate. What in the fuck are you gonna have a debate other than to be in, to get to entertain people and to get the spot, the white hot spotlight on you? There's no point. Anybody that goes to that debate, and I'll watch it and see what, you know, happens. I'll probably put commentary to it, but it's basically entertainment. You know, Sarnetta is nothing but the Don King of that particular platform, because that makes money. Because if they were really about truth, they wouldn't charge you. They wouldn't charge you. There ain't no charge on it, man. That's all about entertainment, and it's all about to get revenue. And when Sarnetta rolled on us, he offered us money. He offered us a couple $1,000 for one day of work. We said, no, we ain't into that, brother. This is not, we're not entertainers, man. You know? This is not a up and coming pay-per-view event. This is serious business. But as far as Guerrilla Hebrew goes, he's always out there on the streets, so we can't knock him on that. And for the most part, he teaches the scriptures the right way. He goes off on a couple of things, but he teaches basically the right way. But he's always out there, man. You got this new thing, this new trend now, where you got these top leaders that said they don't even go out on the street no more. They might do a guest appearance or something like that. They might go on a TV show, but they ain't out there grinding, man. They ain't grunts. They ain't out there on the highways and the byways. When was the last time you saw General Yohana on a highway and a byway? You hardly see him do anything. How about Bishop Nathaniel? When was the last time you seen him out there in the hood or anywhere where Israel is? He has his men going out there, man. So now let's deal with GMS. GMS from the apostles on down, we're out there every week. We're doing the sit downs, man. And you should be ashamed of yourself, you other guys from I'm from One West. I'm an original One West guy. Yeah, but you ain't doing shit, man. You're more than lukewarm. You're cold. You're not even lukewarm. You're not even lukewarm, man. Come wintertime, you don't see none of them camps out there, man. But GMS. If it's too hot, your asses ain't out there, man. So you're definitely not hot. You're either lukewarm or you're either cold. A lot of you are cold. And a lot of you are going to take that charagma, and a lot of you are going to be destroyed. The Most High going to make you take that charagma. He's going to put it in your mind that it's not the fulfillment of Revelation 13 and 16, and you're going to take it, and your zombies are going to take it too, because they're blindly following you. They're blindly following you. It says, so you should be embarrassed. If you were a former one Wester back in the 90s, back in the 80s. So we're talking about what? We're talking what, 25, 30 years ago, 30 years ago, 30 plus years ago? Yeah, I'm original One West. I used to go to the main school, One West. Well, what the fuck are you doing now? You're being lukewarm or cold, and the Most High is going to spew you out of his mouth. The 7 that are still living, ain't none of them doing the work. Ariana ain't out there. So if the Most High have mercy on him because of the great works that he did in the past, the Most High could deliver him. That's between the Most High and High Priest Ariah. The same with High Priest Shaw. Where's Yeshua at? Lahab is back. He took a hiatus for about 10 years or so. And he's on there, but he teaches that Esau can make it. You know, he teaches that Esau, when we get in the kingdom, the first 1,000 years, we're going to be good. And after that 1,000 years, Esau is going to come out the bushes and take Israel down again. The Most High said he's going to be in the midst of Israel. In Revelation, the 21st chapter. The Lord is going to be in the midst of us. So Esau going to beat the share of the Lord? Come on, man. And a lot of you guys are going to bug out, and you're going to, you know, you get caught up in the Revelation, the Charagma thing. You're going to get caught up in that. Some of you clowns are going to wake up, and you're going to leave your masters. And some of you are going to blindly follow, well, my master said it's all right. I'm going to go ahead and take it. So I'm not down with GMS. Look, you're going to find out the #1 group out there is GMS. That's why we're on that damn list. Goddamn shame, man. You'll have as once every 2 year Israelites. It's a motherfucking shame, man. But you're not men of the Lord. The scriptures say, give diligence to make thy calling and election sure. You are not diligent. The Apostle Paul said that we all show the same diligence for the work of the ministry, for the perfecting of the saints. That's why I open it up with Luke 10, verse 2. It says, second verse, Luke 10, verse 2. Then he said to them, the harvest truly is great. What does the Lord mean by harvest? The harvest is the people out there. The people are out there. So he's making you spiritual farmers to go out there to plant the seeds, to cover the ground. First of all, the plow is to make those lines. If you ever been farming, they make those holes in the ground. If it's hard, you gotta break those clods, as the scriptures say. It was not during the time of the Passover, everything the ground gets softer, and so it's easy for you to plow. So you plow that straight line, not looking back. And then you either you or somebody else come with seeds, and they put the seeds down. Then you cover those grooves, let's say, and then you let nature take its course. You got the sun coming out, you got the rain, you know, and when you don't have no rain, guess what? You're gonna have a bad crop, right? So the Most High gives you rain, the Most High gives you sun, and then what happens is it starts to grow. Now, it says, let me see if I can find this. Bear me for a minute. Okay, it's not here. Okay, white. I believe it's white unto harvest. Bear me for a minute. White unto harvest. Let's see what comes up. If I don't put the right wording in there, it's not going to come up. But let's see. Okay, yeah, I found the water. The water, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Not all praises. All praise, all praise, all praise. No, all praise to who? Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Put some spec on his name and his son's name. Most High in Christ, break. Get a bless. Give me a break. I don't want Christ blessing me on anything. John 4, verse 35. Say not ye, there are yet 4 months, and then cometh harvest. Now, what is the Lord talking about? What is being talked about right here? It's not talking about actual farming. It's actually talking about pushing his word. And the farmer has to work year round. The harvest comes in, he gets a break during winter. That's why the Apostle Paul said, be instant, in season, out of season. Farmers get breaks in the wintertime and going into the fall, going into the winter, because you got a harvest that comes in late summer into the fall. So you got 2 harvests, right? The first one, which comes around the Passover, then the latter, and that's why the scriptures say the former and the latter rain, because there's 2 harvests that you're gonna get in that year. And what you do, you have barns and you put the wheat or the corn in the barns for the winter time, because you ain't gonna be working. But guess what? The Lord told us through the Apostle Paul, be ye ready in season, out of season. That's why when it's cold, you got to still be out there. You got to still do those sit downs. You don't take no breaks. If a farmer takes breaks, guess what? His farm is going to die. You know, his farm is going to die. If he has children, they don't want to work, and he's old, guess what? He got to sell the farm. It says, say not ye, there are yet 4 months, and then cometh harvest. Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes and look on the fields, for they are white and ready to harvest. Now, what does it mean by white and ready to harvest? When you look at wheat, for example, and I did this in another lesson, you know when it's ready when they're white. Let me see, let me try something. I was going to get a picture. Let me do it this way. Let me do it this way. White, ready to harvest. Let me put meaning. The master was telling his followers that the time for waiting was past, that the fields were white ready, meaning the grain stalks were already mature with heads ripe for the harvest. They should not delay any longer to begin to reap, which is the work, the harvest of souls, awaiting salvation and eternal life. Let me go to images. Okay, so when you look at it, the fields, here's a good picture. It says white, ready to harvest. White, see? White, ready to harvest. If they're not white, they're not ready. They need a couple more weeks. Here it goes again. White, ready to harvest. See the white? See the white? They're ready to harvest. So what y'all waiting for? What you bogus camps are waiting for? Huh? You ain't gonna make it. I'm gonna tell you just like it is. You ain't gonna make it. He that turning his back on the plow is not what? It's not fit for the kingdom. You're gonna have to come back the second go around in the second resurrection, because you're not gonna be in the book of life, nigga. Get freaking mad, man. But you should be embarrassed, man, that you got a Sakari that's in that list. That means it's Southern Poverty Law Center. They check out all the videos, they check out all the information, and they said we come to the conclusion that the top camps out there uh, IUIC, ISUPK, GMS, and Sakari. Where's the other camps at? Because you guys are not putting in work. You're not putting in work. And I'm not going to mention no names. You know who the hell you are. You're supposed to be on fire. And like Rick James says, fire and desire. And when you get with a chick that you wanted to get with her, you see her, she look good. Man, damn, God damn, she looking good. And then you realize she thinking the same thing about you. Y'all get together. And what happens when the lights are turned low? Fire and desire. Since I laid eyes on you, it was pain before. I know y'all crack it up. But if you ain't this, if you got this woman that you wanted, I want this woman, man. I want this woman. Found out she wants you. You better perform, brother. you better, and it's the desire, okay? Or even Uther Pendragon in the Excalibur. He said, he said, how can I go? He said, there's a cliff there. And then Merlin said, what did he say? Your lust will hold you up. All right. So going back to Rick James, he said pain before pleasure, right? What does the word passion mean? When you passionately, have relations with a woman, what does it mean by passionate? Look up the word passionate. It means pain. There's a little pain involved in that, Yeah, let me shut the hell up before I get in trouble. Fire, fire and desire. Then I laid eyes on you. And he only lived, that dude, Rick James, he died young because he lived, he was in one gear, maximum overdrive, and he burnt the hell out. You got to balance yourself, man. So I'm sorry, let me come back to this. Okay, say not, John 4, verse 35, say not ye, there are yet 4 months, and then cometh the harvest. Hey, Bishop Nathaniel was on that show, that Benjamite, which he passed, I forget his name, somebody can put it in the comment section. And the guy, he said, what about the time of Jacob's trouble? And then there's no time of Jacob's trouble. No, it's not going to come. Nope, it's not going to come. No, but it's in the scriptures. No, but it's not going to happen. We're just going to get out of here. And then just recently, Bishop Nate reversed himself and said, well, nothing was happening at that time. Well, that's the attitude with you guys. Say not ye, there are yet 4 months. Ain't nothing really happening, man. I'm going to wait till shit really get hot, then I'm going to do it. No, the end season, out of season. Once you come into this truth, give diligence, that ye all may have the same diligence. Give diligence to make that calling and the elections sure. Hebrew was that Hebrew 4, around about the 4th verse around there. It said they fell off, merely paraphrasing, because it was not mixed with faith. It was not mixed with faith. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and get that. It says, say not, there are yet 4 months, and then harvest. Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes and look on the fields, which are the people that you got to wake up, for they are white, ready to harvest. They're white, ready to harvest, man. Now, why would I go to the churches, talking about IUIC? The churches are not white, ready to harvest. They're not ready to hear this. You shoving this truth down their mouths. Did the Lord shove the truth down the Pharisees and scribes' mouth? No, he had nothing to do with it. He wasn't dealing with the wicked scribes and Pharisees, man. He talked to some of them. Joseph of Arimathea gave him he was buried in a rich man's tomb. So he's a believer. He's blessed. He's going to make it. He's back here probably among us, or recently went to the spiritual realm. Nicodemus, he was a Pharisee, a doctor of the law, and he believed. There was Pharisees and scribes that believed in the Lord. Acts chapter 15 tells you that. So so what does it mean by white ready to harvest? That you got to know what people you talk. John the Baptist told the wicked scribes and Pharisees. Let me get that. That's it's in Luke, but it's also in Matthew. Matthew 3. The preaching of John the Baptist. Okay, flee. I want to go right to the point. You know what? Let me start at the top because it's in the 7th verse. In those days came John the Baptist preaching in the wilderness of Yahweh and saying, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Who is he talking to? The Israelites. For this is he that was spoken of by the prophet Isaiah. Now, you know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. Let me do this. I don't even know why I did this. The prophet Isaiah. And if I'm not mistaken, that's Isaiah 43, if I'm not mistaken. Bear me for a minute. Bear me for a minute. This thing is acting up. That's the spiritual demon Satan. Come on now. Okay, I don't want that. Let that happen. It's here, July 4th, 2022. And it's time to we declare your Declaration of Independence against tyranny, empowering abuse. Okay. Forgive me. I gotta open up and do it this way, this way, this way, this way, paste commentary. Okay, I didn't want this. I wanted. I'll start from 1. In those days came John the Baptist preaching in the wilderness of Yahweh Yahweh and saying, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. The voice, for this is he that was spoken of by the prophet Isaiah. So now let's go to the commentary. Okay, maybe the commentary is not going to tell you. Bear with me for a minute. Let me see what this says. The voice of him that, yep, okay, boom, that's it. I said Isaiah 43. I meant to say, I should have said Isaiah 40 verse 3. It says, the voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare you the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our power. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this. So Isaiah prophesied that he would come, and Malachi prophesied he would come. Comfort ye, my people, saith Yahweh. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished, that her iniquity is pardoned, for she hath received Yahweh's hand double for all her sins. The voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of Yahweh. That's John the Baptist. Make straight in the desert a highway for our power. Every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill shall be made low. And the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough places plain. See, we're low, we're going to be made high, and the high is going to be made low. And the glory of the Lord Yahweh shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. How are we going to see it together? Through the internet. For the mouth of Yahweh have spoken it. The voice said, cry, and he said, what shall I cry? All flesh is grass. I'm not going to read any more of that. But this was fulfilled by John the Baptist. So now let's come back over here. And John the Baptist didn't take breaks. He wasn't a seasonal prophet. When Yahweh Shai started his ministry and he got gathered the disciples together, it was nonstop. You know, it was nonstop on the block. Like, no man. Hey, shalom to you, brother. Anyway, he didn't. The Lord didn't stop. The Lord didn't stop. The disciples didn't stop. And then when the Lord was resurrected and came back down, they really was on fire. They were all on fire. So you had guys fall off in the past, 2,000 years ago or more, and guys that have fallen off recently in the recent 10 years that came into the truth. And all those guys are going to be destroyed because they're not doing the work. Now, for some reason, if you get kicked out or you fall out or whatever, and you keep doing the work, then the Most High, if you are the elect, the Most High is going to deliver you. He's going to put it in your spirit not to take that charagma. Going back to what that clown vocab said, that the GMS is totally they're not in order at all. Well, there's a method to our madness, because there were people that were following the Apostle Paul that wasn't on the roster of Apostle Paul, like Sceva and his 7 sons. They tried to exorcise a demon by calling as Paul, because he heard Paul say it. He said, oh, this guy Paul, I like what he's saying. I'm not going to get with him, but I'm going to do my own thing. So Paul didn't say, well, look, you got to be on my team. No, not necessarily. Then in what is that? Is that Mark 13? I believe it's Mark 13. Let me look that up. I'm a little all over the place, but that's all right. Mark 13, if I'm correct. I believe it's the 39th verse, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. What was it? Okay, name, and put in name. It says they were prophesying in your name. Let me try it this way. Bear with me for a minute. I hadn't gone through that in years, literally. Let me do this. Let me try it this way. Bear with me for a minute. The site, I can't spell pulse. Disciples told Christ those men are speaking. Let's see what comes up. Speaking in your name. Let's see what happens. Should come up. Okay, boom. It's 9. How more I got 13. Mark 9 and 38. Mark 9 and 38. Please forgive me, please forgive me, please forgive me. Mark 9, 38. And John answered him, saying, Master, we saw one casting out devils in thy name. So John was saying he's supposed to be on our team. He's supposed to be with us. So you're going to have guys out there that's going to call themselves GMS. They're going to say double honors to the apostles. I'm not part of GMS, but I follow it. I believe they're the men of the Lord. There's a lot of men out there, man. It's none of my business to go, okay, brother, you got to give me your social security number, your mama's maiden name. Where do you work at? How many hours do you work? What's your gross pay? You know, how many children do you have? Do you own a business? Because we know what that's going to lead to, man. So you got many men that follow GMS that are not officially a part of GMS. And we have a vetting system. Like I'll give you an example. Chicago, right? Chicago GMS, this GMS, they came out to New York a couple of times. What, 3 or 4 times it came out. We're talking about, 9, 8, 9, 10 years ago. They didn't came, at one time there was about 15, 20 of them, man. It came up, they were all up in the crib, all up in my kitchen, opening the refrigerator and all. That's how they do in the Midwest. With their big jar of salsa, homemade salsa. I said, these guys are tripping, man. But I love them brothers, man. And in the beginning, they were rough around the edges. But guess what? They started calling themselves GMS. We didn't have no roster paperwork on them. And what are they doing? Are they out there? That was none of our business. But through a vetting process, as we got with them and talked to them and so forth, they said, we're going to come out. Can we come out? And they came on out. The same thing with Dallas, Texas. They came out, what, 10 times? They're getting ready to come out in the next couple of weeks, next week or something, maybe this week, you know? And they've been coming out since, what, shit, more than 10 years ago. They've been coming out. This is about the 10th, 11th, 12th time they've been out here, man. You know? So, you know, you come into this through the spirit, but there's some of y'all that follow GMS, but that's not really a part of us. Now, if you say that you GMS and you say Edomites can make it and this, that, and the third, that's a vetting process. That means, nah, he ain't coming out here. No. Let the record show, do a video that this guy's not part of GMS, he's going off. He said Edomites can make it. Now he can keep that name because we don't own that, right? And so he can keep that name. He might be rebellious, and I'm gonna still call myself GMS. And Edomites can make it, but the rest of the brothers of camps out there know that he ain't part of. He's bootleg GMS. Okay, and then it goes back to counting Israel, which David did, and what happened? He had the Most High punished him for it by killing, what was it, 85,000 Israelites. There was a death angel with a big sword, and he saw the angel over them swinging a sword over their head, because he gave them three options. What was it? To be chased by your enemies, to have famine, I think famine for 6 months, to be chased by your enemies for a certain amount of time, or for 3 days, Israel will be, you know, slaughtered by the angel. So he looked at it this way: oh, that's 3 days. What damage did the one angel do with his sword in 3 days? He killed 85,000. I believe it was 85,000. Look it up. Because he counted Israel. So just based upon what Esau did in the Roman Empire and what he's doing now with the census, the Most High can destroy you just off of that, because you're counting Israel. Isaiah chapter 14, sit on the congregation in the north, that's talking about counting Israel, being over Israel, putting us in the census, man. And they did that back there in Matthew 2. Anyway, I'm all over the place, but okay, so I'm right here. For this is he that it was spoken by of the prophet Isaiah. So we read that, Isaiah 40 verse 3. I said Isaiah 43, but Isaiah 40 verse 3. The voice of one crying in the wilderness. So was John the Baptist, did he just get up one day and decide to teach? No, he was Elijah in the past life. This is something that Christians do not understand. Now, if you go to the commentary, and you go to Malachi 4, what was that, the 5th verse, they tell you that it's reincarnation, but they don't use the word reincarnation. They tell you that, as a matter of fact, I have to go to that. Please forgive me. Let me go to that. So let me see that's why I go to these commentators, just to see where their mind is at. And I say that they're hit or miss. Sometimes they're right on point. Sometimes they way off. Sometimes they're absent, like the Cambridge for School. Sometimes if it's a hard breakdown, they don't even put their commentary because they don't know the answers. So let's go to Malachi. Malachi 4. And this is a beautiful short. I always like to start at the top. For behold, the days coming will burn like an oven. For behold, the day is coming. This is not this, let me see. This is not the King James. This is not the King James version. Bear me for a minute. Let me do this. Malachi 4. Okay, for behold, the days come that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud. That's what I wanted. Okay, this is what I want to do. Malachi 2:4, Malachi. This is what I want. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. So let's see what the Cambridge says. Elijah the prophet, the reading of the Septuagint, which is, I don't go by the Septuagint. Elijah the Tishbite has been thought to indicate their belief that the actual return of Elijah to earth, as reincarnation right there, vocab, is here foretold. Some have traced the same belief in the appropriation by the son of Sirach to the literal Elijah of Malachi's description of the work of the coming prophet. Malachi 4:6, and he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the children heart to the children of the fatherless. I come and smite the earth with a curse. Who are those fathers that were brought back? 3, Peter, James, and John, which is Masha, Arya, and Yaquab. Those are the 3. This is Sirach 48:10. Who was ordained to reproof in their times, to pacify the wrath of the Lord, judgment before it break forth into fury, and to turn the heart of the fathers unto the sons, and to restore the tribes of Jacob. The 12 tribe chart, right? You ain't gonna have the truth if you don't have the 12 tribes. If you don't know who the 12 tribes are, you have to know who the 12 tribes are, because you have to know who to speak to. Some Polynesian fella come up and you teach, and he looked like Ephraim or Gad or whatever, or Simeon, and he said, well, I'm Polynesian, right? Now you could have Israelites in the Polynesian islands, but you got to say, well, you were not one of the tribes. If a Manute Bow's son came to the camp, we already know you're a Hamite, you're an Egyptian, Mizraim. So you have to be able to identify the tribes. That's why we have a 12 tribe sign, in order for you to know who can come into this truth. So who did that among the fathers? Arya, the spirit jumped on Arya. It says, though it may well be doubted whether the passage proves anything more than his acquaintance with our prophecy, the belief, however, was certainly current among the Jews in our Lord's time. Matthew 17, Mark 9, John 1:21. I believe they asked him, it said, and they asked him, what then? Are you Elijah? And he said, I am not Elijah. And he answered them, no. But he said he was one crying out in the wilderness, which was the fulfillment of Isaiah 40:3. Nor does it follow that the belief was unfounded, because he himself distinctly claimed the prophecy for John the Baptist, identifying that at the same time with the messenger. Behold, by Malachi, Matthews 11:10, Matthews 11:14, Matthew 17:12-13. Y'all can read them precepts. The prophecy had a first fulfillment in the Baptist. And what Baptist? John the Baptist. So the Lord is breaking it down in these precepts right here. Matthew 11 and Matthew 17. And this is why you can't get it, vocab Malone, because you're a devil. It says the wicked shall not understand. Daniel 12:10. The prophecy had its first fulfillment in the Baptist, John the Baptist, who went before the face of the Lord in the spirit and power of Elijah. What does it say in 1 Corinthians 14? I believe it's 32. The spirit of the prophet is subject unto the prophet. So Daniel is back. Isaiah is back. Jeremiah is back. All these men are back. It said to do the work here described. Luke 1:17. What does it say? And he shall go before him in the spirit and power of Elijah, meaning that's going to be Elijah. That's the fulfillment of Elijah, to turn the hearts of the fathers to the children. And when did he do that? When he came back as Abba. Abba Bivens is Elijah. Abba Bivens is John the Baptist. And the ones that he turned, and see, IUIC will teach that. Yes, that's talking about John the Baptist. He's Abba. Well, guess what? What did Abba do? He turned the fathers to the children to the father, right? Who are those fathers that he turned back to the children to the fathers? Marsha, Yaria, and Yaquab. And guess what? You caused a big split with them, man. So you're gonna have to answer for that, whether you are the elect or not. You're gonna have to apologize for that, because that was a terrible thing that you did. You and Yaash and Rahab. That was a terrible thing. And you kept it, I knew about it, but you kept it away from me because you had a certain group, y'all wanted to break off and do your own, and you didn't even care about the people that are new in that thing that was trying to learn the truth. That was a wicked act. That major split was a wicked act. That's why when you ask, if you ask them, ask Bishop Nathaniel, what does it mean by Elijah coming back? Oh, it's talking about coming back as John the Baptist, and he's coming back as Abba Bivens. So who are the fathers that he turned back, children to the fathers, the children to the fathers? Who's that? Oh, that's just the truth is out there. No, it was the guys that you came up under, the top three, not necessarily the seven. Because the rest of the seven, except for High Priest Shaw, the rest of them, they're not gonna make it. Because look, it was Lahab that left them. And Yeshai, we don't know where the hell he is. Same with Gazak. These guys are not men of the Lord, man. That's why they came against me. In one sense, like this, Yeshaya said, this poison that been swept under the rug for I don't know how long. He was talking about me. They had a damn war council. They wanted to kill me. And guess what happened? The Most High got rid of all of them. It says in one sense, he was Elias, which was for to come, which is John and Abba. But in another sense, and on his own confession, John 1, verse 21, he was not. Why did he say that he wasn't? Because he didn't know. But his cousin, the Lord, knew. For the prophecy awaits a second, and as some believe, more literally fulfillment. That's Abba Bivens. And as the typical Elijah came before the Messiah, first advent, and they knew him not, but did unto him whatsoever they listed, talking about John. So before his second advent, shall another Elijah come, which is Abba Bivens, and shall restore all things. Matthew 17:10, read it. Okay, so this is for the IUIC and the churches. You wasting your time going to the churches because the churches are stumbling blocks. You're not supposed to go up there and say, they ain't keeping the law. You sound like the scribes and the Pharisees. I'm talking about Bishop Kanai. He's on the news talking about they don't keep the laws. That's none of your business whether they keep the laws or not. They're stumbling blocks. Why are you trying to, the Lord never cursed out went and looked for the Pharisees and cursed them out and said, you got to come into this truth. The Most High is only dealing with the elect. Okay, it says, fifth verse, then went out to him Jerusalem and all Judea, Yahudiah, and all the region round about Jordan, and were baptized of him in Jordan, confessing their sins. What sins? The transgression of the law is sin, right? So these were Israelites. He wasn't talking to other nations. This is not for other nations. All the other nations, your part in the kingdom is you're going to be under us. You're going to be slaves. But when he saw many of the Pharisees and the Sadducees, now remember, some of the Pharisees and scribes were righteous. Read Acts 15. All right. So it says Pharisees, I believe it was scribes or Pharisees that believed. There was a big dispute over circumcision, which they were right on. But these people were coming out of that, dead state, thinking that they were Gentiles. So the main thing with the book of Acts, mainly if you go to Acts 13, around about read the whole chapter, but around about the 40th verse on down, it speaks about how the Gentiles were coming in, and those Gentiles were not of other nations. Those were Israelites. Go back to the history of the Maccabees during the time of Antiochus Epiphanes and the Maccabees, where they were forcing Jake not at all to be a Jew. Second Maccabees, 6 verse 6 on down to 9, made them wear a hat. Jake ain't supposed to be wearing no damn hats. But when he saw many of the Pharisees and the Sadducees come to his baptism, and as you read down, it's going to say that they were sent, right? Let me see if I can find that. He said unto them, O generation of vipers. He called them a bunch of vipers, demons, who have warned you to flee from the wrath to come. What wrath is this talking about? The wrath that's getting ready to come now. Because whether you're good or evil, you're going to come back. You're going to be reincarnated. So them wicked scribes and Pharisees, they're back here. Let me see something. What was I going to say? Anyway, this is a good chapter too. There's a lot of information in this chapter. So anyway, let's come back to Luke 10. After these things, the Lord Yahweh appointed others 70 also, and sent them two and two before his face into every city. So they were outside and place whither he himself would come. Therefore, second verse, therefore said he unto them, the harvest truly is great. Meaning the people are out there, the blind, Matthew 10, 5 and 6, go not into the way of the Gentiles, neither into the city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, as ye go, preach saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand. That's exactly what John the Baptist did in Matthew 3, and that's what the Lord is saying right here. The harvest that is white is ready to be taught. So what are you former One Westers doing, man? You ain't doing a damn thing. You wait, well, look, as soon as Russia shoot a missile over here, then I'm gonna go to the cleaners, I'm gonna clean my garment, I'm gonna straighten out my fringes, and I'm gonna raise hell. You were supposed to have been raising hell, man. That's why you are gonna get karagmat. That's why you're not in the book. I got news for you. You're not in the book of life. So you're gonna be destroyed. You're gonna die with your buddy Esau. Ain't that a bitch? This destruction is set up for the wicked, and you're gonna be part of the wicked. You guys have been fucking playing games, and you fucking seasonal. It's almost like if something big, something happened in Washington D.C. What, they gonna have another Million Man March? All them Israelite groups gonna go down there and they're gonna set up camps down there. Then after that's over, you ain't gonna see them until the next Million Man March 10 years from now. Oh, let's get our garments together. Making rap videos. How can we sing the Lord's song in a strange? Well, sing about the Lord. Well, it says, how can you sing the Lord's song in a strange land? Well, I'm putting scriptures in the rap. Well, guess what? Doesn't that make that the Lord's song? Huh? You ain't got no business rapping out there. It ain't no particular law against that. But I wouldn't be doing that. The only thing you're supposed to do is teach this word, eat this roll, and go out and teach the children of Israel, man. It said, therefore said he unto them, the harvest truly is great. It's been great 2,000 years ago. It's even greater now. Here you got the IUIC going to churches, and the you know, the crop is not white unto harvesting. Let's say that the wheat, the churches are wheat, right? Well, when you go to the church, you look at and you see if they're white, ready for harvest. They're not ready for harvest, man. That's why one church came out with guns, and one church parishioner bit one of you brothers. It said, give not that which is holy unto the dog. You give your dog some food with some hot pepper sauce in that motherfucker, the dog gonna bite you, man. That's what he felt. He said, you give me shoving this hot sauce down my throat, I'm gonna bite the shit out of you. You had a woman throwing wigs at you, hurling slippers at your ass. How stupid can you be? Why? Because you listen to a megalomaniac by the name of Bishop Nathaniel, Mr. Most High in Christ bless. And the nigga got sick 2 times. He had to shake the first time, then he almost died the second time. And as soon as he come out of that second sickness, he praised Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, then he went back to call on Christ. Most High in Christ bless. Most High ain't dealing with them guys. They know that the Israelites, that's good. But to see the work that they're doing, the Most High setting it up for us to come in, right? With the 70, right? Did not the Lord send out the 70? And what did he say? He said, and sent them 2 by 2, 2 by 2 and 2 before his face into every city and place whether he himself will come. So guess what? The heavy lifting, IUIC doing the heavy lifting, and then we're going to come in with the whole truth. Because the Charagma, you know, Revelation 13, you clearly going off on that. You and ISUPK. Oh, the ICGJC ain't even mentioned no more. That's a little church organization on the corner. They ain't nothing, man. They ain't out there teaching. So you're going to fail that test. You're going to fail that test. You guys that have taken breaks, you guys that have did disappearing acts, you guys that have turned your back on the plow, you're going to take that test, man. You're going to fail that test. And what's the test? What's the test? Revelation. Black Christ will slay. That's an inside joke for you 1992 Israelites. That's my main man. We call him Shaliah. Okay, let me see, 10 verse. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience. What is the word of the Most High's patience? To do what the word said, right? Meaning go out on the highways and the byways, in season, out of season, raise hell, be hot, Revelation 3, verse 15 on down. I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. What's the hour of temptation? You're gonna have to come to a decision whether you're gonna take this Charagma or not. And there was a trial run with the Crown Vicky. And a lot of, well, there was guys that were a part of the IUIC that lined up and took it. There's a brother in my camp, we did a video on that. There's a brother in my camp, young brother, that has a co-worker that's an IUIC. And the job said, you got to get the Crown Vicky. And he said, no, I ain't with it. Guess what? He still got that job. The other guy in IUIC, he didn't want to lose his job, so he took it. And after he took it, he felt like shit in his spirit. He felt like the demons jumped on him. And then he went back to, you know, the leadership of IUIC, and they tried to console him. Look, Nate ain't taking that. And guess what? Johanna ain't taking it. Johanna said, I'll take 3 and 4 of them bad boys. Motherfucker, you ain't took jab 1. The hell you talking about? And then you got Captain Tazariak. Well, he never ordered nobody to take it. And then he flip-flop and said, I'm gonna take it to show you that I'm not afraid to take it. Okay, good. You can show me how not to be afraid of taking the Charagma. Because what GMS been saying is the truth, which shall come upon the whole world to try them that dwell upon the earth. There it goes. There it goes. I had a list of precepts right in front of me. I didn't even hit one precept from that list. Basically what I'll do is this. Okay, I entitled it Don't Fall Off, Hebrews 6, verse 4 to 12, but you got to read down past verse 12, Hebrews 10, verse 28, and read down 2 Peter 2, verse 20, read down to there's 22 verses altogether, 2 Corinthians 5, verse 11. So those are the main precepts, but there was precepts that came to mind anyway. I want to close with this because I went a little long. Let me go to Ephesians. Ephesians 4. Why do we learn this truth? So we can teach it to others. White, the ones that are white unto harvest, not them churches. Ephesians 4 and 11. And he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and some teachers for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Yahushua, till we all come in the unity of the faith. So if you have a unity camp, that means you got to have the same name. So-and-so and such and such camp, but this and that camp. And y'all got different belief systems and y'all get together. That's confusion, man. Or we ain't gonna say the Most High's true name because we don't want to offend these guys because they say it different. Oh no, I'm not gonna be around them. You know, that's that. It says 13, till we all come in the unity of faith, because there's only one faith, right? And of the knowledge of the Son of the Most High, unto a perfect man. So if you ask me, what does this mean in scriptures? And you go to Dallas, Texas, and you ask somebody in Dallas, Texas, GMS, what does that mean? They got to say the same thing of what I said. You go to Philadelphia, GMS down there, you go to Canada, they're all going to say the same thing. You ask them, is there any Edomites going to make it? They all say resoundingly no. If you're an Edomite, you're not going to. Well, what about somebody that looks like an Edomite? Well, if they're Israelite, they can make it, looking like an Edomite. But if you're actually, if your descendants, if you descend from Esau in any way, you're going into captivity. Other nations as well. It says, unto the measure of the statute of the fullness of the Messiah, that we henceforth be no more children tossed to and fro. You know how a guy is way the hell off? If a guy makes a weird ass comment, like he has an off the wall question or rebukes or whatever, you click on his page, and if he has a bunch of Israelites, he follows Israel, he'll have GMS, he'll subscribe to GMS, he'll subscribe to ISUPK, he'll subscribe to Sakari. You know the man is completely confused. You know the man is completely confused. If they just have all IUIC, that means they're zombies. They're baby zombies. That's what they are. That we henceforth be no more children tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine by the sleight of men, like when you have these guys that do magic tricks, and they they'll make a card float and all that. Well, that's called a sleight of hand. They ain't really the card. He ain't making the card really dance. He's manipulating his hands, and cunning craftiness whereby they lie in wait to deceive. But speaking the truth in love may grow, there goes the word grow again, up into him in all things, which is the head, even Yahushua. 16 verse, from whom the whole body fitly joined together. If you put a structure together with bricks or whatever, or tiles, it's not fitly joined together. When the rain comes, you're gonna have leaks. You're gonna have leaks. So it's got to be fitly joined together. Look at a house. You got the tiles on the house. One tile is over the other tile, right? To make it fitly joined together. And compacted by that which every joint supplieth, according to the effectual workings in the measure of every part. So if you ask a bunch of guys the same question in GMS in different states, and then you got 10 guys asking the same thing, 11 guys, he gonna go off, then that's when you jump on him. Look, brother, what the hell you going off on that? He says, no, I believe it's true. Well, look, goodbye. Maketh increase of the body unto the edifying of itself in love. So this is serious, man. Let me go to Luke. I believe that's in Luke 19. Okay, parable of the money usage. I'm gonna go right to the point. Okay, it says in Ephesians 4, for the perfectingness of the saint, for the work of the ministry. Now, when you look, you know what, I got to go back. I'm sorry. Let me go back to Ephesians 4. And let me go to for the work of the ministry, 12th verse. For the work. The word is ergon. Ergo in the Greek means to work, business, employment, that which anyone is occupied. Now, if you're working at a job, they're paying you a certain salary, and you kind of sneak out, you punch in, then you sneak out, and you got your boy, oh, watch out for me, man, I'm going to sneak out. And we all did that. Then it comes a point where, you know, the boss, you know, he finds out that you're sneaking out. And then what he might do is he might let you sneak out here and there. He might monitor everything. When you come to get your check, you got zero on your check. And you say, well, I was working. Then you show him the cameras. Look, you went out that damn window. You snuck out. And then you get fired. So the same thing with this truth. When you come into this truth, you got to work. Your job, you are, what did the Apostle Paul say? He called himself a prisoner of Yahushua. He said, I'm a fool for the Yahushua's sake. I'm a yoke fella. When you tied up in the yoke, invisible yoke, that means you're doing the will of the Father, not your own will. Oh, I'm going to take 3 years off. You know? And then you come back at the end, the Most High sees everything, man. The eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom, and he will destroy it from off the face of the earth. The only ones that's going to make it is the ones that are found in the book of life. It said a business, employment. You're employed by the Most High. That which anyone is occupied, that ye be occupied in prophecy. That which one undertaketh to do, enterprise, undertaking, any product whatsoever. And what is our product? The scriptures. Anything accomplished by hand, art, industry, or mind. We're dealing with the mind. That you may be fully persuaded in your mind. And act. Why do you think the book of Acts is called the book of Acts? Because there was a series of acts that the apostles did. Are we in the book of Acts all over again? You goddamn right. Deed, thing done. The idea of working is emphasized in opposition to that which is less than work. When we don't see you out there teaching for 2 years and then you make a video, we're back. Motherfucker, where'd you go? So you got the precepts, right? Mark 5, verse 16, let your light so shine before men. How do you do that? By being out there teaching, doing the sit downs, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 11, verse 2. Now, when John had heard in the prison the works of Yahushua, he sent 2 of his disciples. Now, did that mean that the Lord, that Yahushua was building the table? No, he was doing the work. He was teaching. He was gathering the disciples and made them teachers. Remember in Luke 10, he took the 70 and sent them out 2 by 2 to go out and to each and every city, the cities that I will come. Matthew 23 and 3. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do, but do not after ye their works, for they say and do not, meaning they tell you to keep the law. The Lord said, yeah, keep the law. That shows you that the law is not done away with, the law of Moses. But all the works they do for to be seen of men. That's when you guys do the debates and you you like the spotlight. You got a tour. Most I didn't say set up tours. Okay, I'll be in I'll pastor so-and-so, whatever, high priest such and such. I'm gonna be in Florida this week, and then I'm gonna go to Dallas, Texas the next week, and then you got people following you. No, the Lord didn't say that, man. We're not celebrities. This is not entertainment. Where does it go in John 3, verse 20? For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light. And when you come into this truth, when your eyes are open and you turn your back on the plow and you go back in the world, you do a disappearing act for 3 years, then all of a sudden you come out of the woodwork and then you come out on fire like you never left. I see that all the time. For everyone that doeth evil, that's evil. You don't think the Most High is looking at that. Hateth the light, hateth the truth, neither cometh to the light. You're moving further and further away from the light, and your countenance is darkened, lest his deeds, his work, should be reproved. Your deeds is what you're doing out there, wickedness. Yahushua saith unto them, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me, and to what? And to finish his work. I don't care if you got 20 years in. I don't care if you got 15 years in. I don't care if you got 25 years in. If the Lord is going to come in the next 5 years and you relying on your 25 years in the past, but the last 5 years you didn't do work, you're going to take that corruptment and you're going to be destroyed. It's simple as that. It's all about whether you've written in the book of life. Let me close on that. Book of life. And that's there. Wow, that's 38 times. Book of life occurs 38 times in 8 verses. Right. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Oh, this is the Apostle Paul. And I entreat thee also, true yoke fellas, to be a yoke, and a yoke, that means slavery. So we're slaves to the Lord. Help those women which labor with me in the gospel, with Clement also, and with other, my fellow laborers. So that means you're working for somebody whose names are in the what? The book of life. I will not blot out his name. He that overcometh, Revelation 3, verse 5, the same shall be clothed in white raiment, and I will not blot out his name out of the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. So you guys have been taking breaks. You took your hand off the plow. You took off the white garment. You out there doing what you want to do. You out there punching in, but you getting out, you're disappearing for the whole day. And I know motherfuckers that did this. There's one Benjaminite guy. He used to punch in, he used to disappear, and he used to come back. The end of the school day was like an auto school, and that was during the time of the CETA, was that the CETA program, I think it was. They showed you to get a skill, and then they gave you a check. Gave you like $100 or whatever, which back then $100 was pretty much like damn $500 today. That was way back, 79, 80, around there. And I remember now when Reagan came in, he did away with all those, the Manpower, CETA program, all those different programs. We had a lot of programs, man. He did away with all that. That's called cutting spending. All right. So this one guy, he would come in, he would punch in, and he was doing it right in front of the teacher. And the teacher looked, the mechanic teacher, this nigga looked just like fucking Fred Flintstone. He looked just like Fred Flintstone, man. He walked like it, he looked like he had the same big nose. I said, that's fucking Fred Flintstone in real life. But anyway, the guy would punch in, then he would just disappear. And about 2:55, he would come back and he would punch out. And then at the end of the week, he would come pick up his check and then go home. I remember a lot of Benjamin shit. You and Benjamin's is just as much shit talkers as Jake. Oh, they be talking shit, man. They want some shit talking people, But all you tribes are like that. But Benjamin, boy, you up there with Jake and his bullshit. But I mean, when they're righteous, they're righteous. When they get right, when Benjamin is righteous, let's deal with the Apostle Paul. Apostle Paul was a Benjaminite. You can't say nothing bad about Apostle Paul. Okay. Revelation 13:8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, who? The beast. And the ones that worship him. If you're a part of the military and you got to get that thing, that thing, you're going to say, no, I'm not with it. How many Jakes do you have among Jake men and Jake women among the tribes? How many of them are in the military? All of them people that's in the military, they're all going to take that thing. And that's right before they're going to get Karagma, right before they sent out there to that barren and desolate land, right out there to Saudi Arabia. That's Joel 2. Everyone that's going to get destroyed, that's going to be a part of that, a part of that soil. They all going to die with that Karagman, that guarantee. Anybody that's in the the military, any of the branches of the military, any police, anybody that works in certain jobs, anybody that works for the federal government, anybody that works for local government, anybody that's in the system, and that eventually includes jobs, because everybody's going to get that Karagma in order for you to buy and sell digitally. That's why everything's going, the Great Reset is what? It's going to be digital, okay? It's going to be digital. It says all of them are going to get it. And anybody that gets it, you can't repent. You cannot repent. It says, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb. Any of you guys that came into this truth and you turn your back, that tasted the good word. Let me see if I can find that. Bear me for a minute. I have it in a list. Let me see. forgive me for, I hope I spelled that right. Okay, I did spell it right. Good for me. Okay, so I mentioned this in my list, right? I said Hebrews 6, you can start the 4th verse and read down, right? So it says Hebrews 6, verse 4, for it is impossible for those who were once enlightened, came into the truth, did the work, got to put the fringes on the garment, and have tasted the heavenly gift and were made partakers of the Holy Spirit and have tasted the good word of the Most High and powers of the world to come. If they shall fall away, to renew them again unto repentance, meaning you disappear for 5 years and all of a sudden you come back. Now there's some that the Most High is going to have mercy on. Maybe the Most High have mercy on High Priest Ariel, High Priest Shaw, and others. It says in Baruch, was that Baruch 4, and returning, seek him 10 times more. So if I was you, I would get on fire and pray and fast and hope that the Most High have mercy on me. Seeing they crucified to themselves the Son of Man afresh and put him to open shame. A verse, but that which beareth thorns and briars is rejected and is nigh unto cursing, whose end is to be burnt. How you going to be burnt? By the nuclear missiles and the lasers that come out of the ships of the angels and the Lord and the angels. Revelation 13 and 8, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, except the ones that don't, whose names are not written in the book of life. So you'll have a lot of Israelites. You'll have millions upon millions of Israelites whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. The Lord didn't come for you, man. Now, ultimately, you're going to come back in the kingdom. Revelation 17, verse 8, the beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. What is that talking about? The beast that was the Roman Empire. During John's time, the Roman Empire was still in power, but they're going to ascend out of the bottomless pit through what? Through Spain. A key person is Christopher Columbus coming to the New World. The bottomless pit was Europe, out of Spain, and going to perdition. They're going to be destroyed. They're getting ready to be destroyed by fire. And that's what the Russia-Ukraine war is all about. And the word Russia is two Hebrew words. It means chief prince. Look it up. Ra'ash Shah, Russia, chief prince or head prince, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, Ra'ash Shah. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names are not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. When they beheld the beast, we know who the beast is, that was and is not and yet is. The beast that was is a Roman Empire. It was destroyed, deadly wound being healed, and yet is deadly wound being healed. Revelation 13. Start from the first 2 verses, right? Revelation 20, verse 12. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High, and the books were open. And another book was open, which is the book of life, and the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. So if you're doing a disappearing act for 3-4 years, a year, 6 months, you're not gonna be in that book. You ain't gonna be in the Lamb's book of life. You're not one of the elect, and then you're gonna be bagged and tagged any goddamn way. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. And there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defileth, neither whatsoever worketh abomination or maketh a lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life. Now you got certain Israelite one Westers that say that you can have sex on the Sabbath, which defiles you. Most High going to deal with you on that. Revelation 2, last precept, and I'm going to close. Revelation 2, verse 19. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this life, of this prophecy, so you got to get the truth 100%. You teaching that the Charagma is Christianity and embargo, you're taking away from the book, and the Most High is going to deal with you on that. Mark my words. The Most High shall take away his part out of the book of life and out of the holy city and from the things which are written in this book. In other words, you got to start all over again as a newborn baby. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.